We continue our reading of Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus, an invitation to spend a year with your best friend, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, May 27, The Human Way of Salvation. I will arise and go to my Father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. Luke 15:18 and 19. At least part of the lost son's theology is correct. Truly unworthy to be called a son, he had lived in a state of rebellion, beginning with his command to his father to give him his share of the inheritance. I want mine now, old man. I can't wait forever for you to die. I've got a life to live, and I want to do it while I'm young, so cough it up, because you can't take it with you. Nice kid. Just the kind most of us never want. Disrespectful and selfish. And then he got his wish. And with the wish came dissipation in the form of substance abuse, sex on the go, and all the other pleasures of the world. And he really had no desire for the Father as long as he had money to support his habit. He turns to the Father only when he is desperate. Not much love there, only driving desperation. Yes, he is truly unworthy of being a son. But at last, he's willing to admit it. And he's right on another point. I have sinned against heaven and before thee. Sin is not merely against other people. It is primarily against God, the Father of us all. David expressed that truth after his own far country experience of adultery with Bathsheba and the murder of Uriah to cover his tracks. In the end, in repentance, he cried out to God, Against thee, thee only have I sinned. Psalm 51:4. Good theology so far, but then the younger son goes off the track. Treat me as one of your hired servants, is his plea. To understand the implications of that request, we need to remember that there were 3 levels of young men in a prosperous household. At the top of the social heap were the sons. They had rights and privileges that no one else had. Beyond that, they were heirs. But the returning boy knew that he had forfeited that position. Then there were the slaves. They had some security. After all, the family owned the slaves, and thus they belonged to the household. At the bottom of the pile were the hired servants. Here today, gone tomorrow, depending on the need for workers. The most insecure position. In effect, the son is going to request that the father give him exactly what he deserves. Apparently, he desired to work his way back into good favor by taking the absolutely lowest spot. Perhaps through years of hard work, he could make himself worthy of sonship again. But in that salvation by works approach, he totally misunderstood the Father. This concludes our reading today of Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus.